My fellow flames of Amethyst, welcome back to another Wuthering Waves video. My name is the Amethyst Abrams, and today we're going to be discussing the story for Wuthering Waves going forward, more specifically not 2.x but going into 3.0, which is set to line up with the anniversary, which is May 23rd, or if it's going by what Cura Games have said, they want a big 0.0 level patch every 6 months. Now, Renacita released on the 2nd of January. Now, 6 months from the 2nd of January is June 2nd, which is a week and a bit after the first anniversary of the game. Now, I want to touch more on what I believe the story is going to be for 3.x and beyond. This is going to be something that I want to discuss. Now, it might not be relevant to you guys, but it's relevant to me, and it's something that I really care about and something I really want to do. So if you enjoy this discussion and enjoy my thoughts on this, please hit that like and subscribe and leave a comment down below and let me know what you think of my theories and predictions. Now, the first thing I think is going to happen in 3.0 is I think we're going to go back to Jinzhou, Huanglong. I think we're going to go back to the Huanglong region. I think we're going to go back to the city of Jinzhou, and I believe it's going to tie directly to Scar potentially, because as we know, at the end of 1.1, Frolova turns up and she alludes to the fact that she is going to be planning the prison break of Scar. Now, personally, I think the prison break should have happened before Renacita. I think it would have made more sense for the prison break to happen pre-Renacita and then have Scar and Frolova in Renacita together. That's what I would have liked. However, we are where we are in the story, and Frolova does turn up again in Renacita, and she alludes to a lot that is going to be happening in the story. But I think upon 3.0, or at least round about that part of the story, we're going to be going back to Huanglong Jinzhou, and we're going to be witnessing the prison break of Scar. Frolova's going to break Scar out of prison. I believe it's going to leave Jinzhou in a little bit of a destroyed and cataclysmic state, to the point where it's going to set off a new arc of the story where we're going to be chasing the Fractidus leaders, being Scar, Frolova, and potentially another leader of the Fractidus, or a director of the Fractidus, or generals of the Fractidus, whatever they're called. Potentially even who's the guy that got introduced in Renacita? You know what I'm talking about, the really cool looking guy who is also a part of the Fractidus. I forget his name. You know what I'm talking about. Maybe even is it Cristofaro? It might be Cristofaro, I think that's his name, who is also revealed to be a part of the Fractidus. We now have 3 members, 3 head honchos, 3 big bads of the Fractidus. We have Scar, Frolova, and now Cristofaro, who seems to be the newest member, or the newest introduced member of the Fractidus. So I believe 3.0 is going to lead into potentially the prison break arc, which is going to be Scar breaking out of prison with the help of Cristofaro, Frolova, and it could potentially introduce us to new areas like the New Federation. We could be going to the New Federation upon returning to Huanglong, where we witness the prison break, and it's going to force us to chase Scar, Frolova, Cristofaro, and the Fractidus to the New Federation, where we may finally be introduced in lore to Calcaro, because Calcaro resides in the New Federation. There's lore around Calcaro, who is from the New Federation. There's a lot of really intense lore about who he is, the group he belongs to, and it is really, really cool. I do want to do a lore video about Calcaro in the future, but yeah, I believe that could be a potential door opening to the New Federation, which some people have wanted since launch. But we haven't been able to go there yet, especially with the release of Renacita, and Renacita is going to be the vocal point of Wuthering Waves until 3.0, most likely. We're going to have 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, and potentially 3.0 upon the anniversary of Wuthering Waves on the 23rd of May. However, the official patch will be the 2nd of June. They will do a live stream, in my prediction. They will do a live stream on the 22nd or the 23rd of May, and then it will announce on the 2nd of June, or within the first week of June, the 3.0 patch, which will be the anniversary patch. That could be one of the avenues they go down. We go back to Huanglong, we witness the prison break, we then follow and track down and hunt down the Fractidus, being Scar, Frolova, and Cristofaro, and maybe new leaders that we're introduced to between now and then. And it could also lead us to the New Federation. or another new area, because we know Carlotta did reference a new region. I can't remember the name of the region, but upon doing Carlotta's quest, she does reference a third region, which could be where we're going next. Now, that is just one of my theories on where I believe the story could go 3.x and beyond. Now, another story which I believe people might want a little bit more, I personally do, is the return of Jue Lin. The return of Jue Lin could be happening upon 3.0 or around 3.x. So 3.0, 3.1, maybe even 3.2, but around the 3.x anniversary era, like that kind of area where we're going. I believe it could be the key, or could be the first sign of Jue Lin's return in Wuthering Waves. Now, I recently did a video explaining why Jue Lin is not dead, and the fact that he just simply was never seen again. We don't know where he went, we don't know where he ended up, but he most certainly isn't dead, based on what we basically reviewed on his legend and what essentially occurred upon his quote-unquote disappearance, death, etc. Now, we now know that the Threnodians also choose resonators alongside the Sentinels. Sentinels choose resonators to become powerful, or to awaken, or perhaps have a second awakening. We saw it with Jan when Jue chose Jan to be the new General of the Midnight Rangers. We saw it with Jue when Jue became the Magistrate. And it's most likely going to be the case with this new Sentinel in Renacita, and I forgot her name, like the resonator that the Sentinel chose, Fleur de Lis. It could be the same scenario with Fleur de Lis. Fleur de Lis might be the Sentinel's resonator in Renacita. But we also now know of the Threnodian's resonators. The Threnodian can also choose a resonator to basically be its second, similar to Jue and Jan and Jinji and Fleur de Lis and this new resonator, Imperator. Now, it could also be the reason why Jue Lin disappeared and was never seen again over him dying, because the Overthrax, which is Huang Long's resonator, could have chosen Jue Lin to be the new Threnodians, or that specific Threnodians resonator. Why? Well, think about it. Jue Lin single-handedly, near enough, held his own against the Overthrax's army, the Overthrax's forces, and pushed back the Overthrax from taking over Huang Long. Now, if the Threnodian sees Jue Lin as a potential threat that could destroy the Overthrax and stop it from taking over Huang Long and Solaris 3, etc., another avenue could be it saw potential in Jue Lin and chose Jue Lin to be the Threnodian's resonator, hence Jue Lin's disappearance, hence the only thing that remained is his sword, which was imbued with the black flame. Jue Lin's body was sacrificed to the power of the black flame, which is probably the reason why he disappeared. But if there are Threnodian resonators, Jue Lin could be chosen by the Overthrax to be its resonator, which could also lead to the return of Jue Lin, which is something that I think would be really, really interesting, something that would be really, really cool. It would add a lot of world lore, it would add a lot of WTF moments. I also believe that a main character in the main roster is most likely going to pass away and perish in the future of the Wuthering Waves story. I believe a game like Wuthering Waves should take that opportunity and kill off a main character on the main roster that we know and love. Now, I don't want them to kill off an NPC. I don't want them to kill off a character we haven't seen before, or a character that is introduced and then died later on that patch. Similar to what they did with Firefly in the Hoyoverse game Honkai Star Rail. As much as Firefly's death / not death was a big deal to some, it kind of was irrelevant because she returned later on in the form of Sam, and we find out why Firefly faked her own death and that she didn't actually die. Same with Sunday. Sunday was thought to have died, didn't die. They kind of wasted that opportunity, and I believe it would be very beneficial for Cura Games to take that opportunity to kill off one of the main roster and I think that's going to add a lot of stakes to the game story. It's going to make us feel even more connected, and it's going to help us resonate, no pun intended, more to the story, and it's going to make us want to be more invested in the story. Which characters? John should most likely die in the story of Wuthering Waves, specifically if Jue Lin returns. Here's the reason why. Jue Lin was the previous general of the Midnight Rangers. Jue Lin and John, in lore, never liked each other. They never liked each other. Jue Lin didn't like the fact that John was this pure of heart, caring man, and didn't like his ideals, and didn't agree with his combat tactics and how he handled his forces and how he handled a fight. As far as Jue Lin was concerned, the whole point of the war is to attain victory. The whole point of a battle is to attain victory, no matter the cost, no matter the collateral damage, no matter the sacrifices. As long as you attain victory, that is all that matters. Hence, the reason why Jue Lin has been given a notorious reputation to being reckless, to being heartless, to being very morally grey. Not evil, but very morally grey. Because he didn't really care about his soldiers, about his men dying when he fought the Overthrax, because all he cared about was victory. All he cared about was basically besting the Overthrax and making sure Huanglong and Jinzhou were at peace, no matter the cost. John cares a lot about his men and would do anything possible to save his men. They're basically his men and family and friends are on the same sort of importance as the mission. Jue Lin is, the mission always comes first. As long as we can complete the mission efficiently, that is all that matters. Soldiers, family, friends down here, if they die, it's collateral damage. As long as he attained victory, that's all that mattered. That's all that mattered to Jue Lin. John is the complete opposite. It's, no, my men are important to me. My men have their own souls, have their own lives. I need to protect them just as much as completing the mission. If I lose all of these men, then it's not going to be much of a victory, because yeah, we defeat the threat, but look at the amount of lives and look at the amount of collateral damage that occurred while trying to complete the mission. Which is the reason why these two characters didn't like each other or resented each other, and why Jue Lin specifically hated Jian, because he didn't like him. He very much detested Jian in lore. So if Jue Lin returns and sees that Jian is the new general of the Midnight Rangers, he sees the reputation he now has, and if he's become corrupted by the Black Flame, which is most likely going to be the case, because he sacrificed his body and mind to the power of the Black Flame to become more powerful to fight and combat the Overthrax. Not only is the Black Flame going to have corrupted him, his body and mind, the Overthrax would have chosen him to be the Threnodian's resonator, which would have most likely given him a second form of an awakening, which would have made him even more powerful, even more unstable, even more dangerous, even more deadly. John couldn't really defeat Dreamless, and Dreamless was like the lieutenant or the right-hand man of the Overthrax. The Overthrax created Dreamless to basically cleanse Huanglong, so then the Overthrax could awaken and rule over it once the Overthrax's forces had done what it needed to do. John struggled with Rover to defeat Dreamless. We see that. John looks exhausted, John struggled, and it took both of them to defeat Dreamless. Jue Lin single-handedly held back the Overthrax's forces, pushed them back, and then on his own went for the Overthrax directly and disappeared. I'm pretty sure we know who's more powerful out of John and Jue Lin from the legend. And this is before the potential Threnodian buff that Jue Lin could get if Jue Lin is chosen to be the Threnodian's resonator. You could get a second awakening, which is going to give Jue Lin an even bigger Zenkai buff. Which means when Jue Lin returns, he's going to want vengeance, he's going to be angry, he's not going to be in his right state of mind, he's going to see all of this going on, his notorious reputation. John has taken his position as general of the Midnight Rangers, and it's probably going to infuriate Jue Lin, and also the fact that if he's the Threnodian's resonator, the Threnodian probably has some sort of influence over him, so he's going to do what the Threnodian wants anyway. which is going to give him a lot of incentive to kill Jian and take back what Jian took from him. So I think if a character was to die, it would make sense for Jian to perish, and it would make sense for Jue Lin to be the one to do it. Because if Jue Lin is the one to kill Jian, or at least put Jian in such a critical state we don't know whether he's going to die or not, it could then open the door to Jue Lin having a redemption arc. It could be the key to that. It could be the key to Jue Lin having a redemption arc in the story, and a very convincing redemption arc. It could be. And he questions his morals, he questions who he is, he questions what he's done. It questions everything that he stood for before, and it could lead to him then turning on the Overthrax and him finally doing what he set out to do, which is to slay the Threnodian like he originally intended, now with this big Zenkai buff as the Threnodian's Resonator, which could possibly give him the power to finally vanquish this evil. Hopefully you guys have been staying with me, because I really do think that this is a possibility and a very high chance of happening. The Prison Break Scar story could probably happen, and the Jue Lin story I would like to happen more. It's more unlikely to happen, but I still would like it to happen nonetheless. Bearing in mind, guys, this is just a theory, these are just predictions, this is just what I believe could happen, which could also lead to Frolova, Scar, or Jue Lin being the anniversary units for Wuthering Waves upon the first anniversary, or around the 3.0, 3.1 update. That is what I think could potentially happen. We are either going to see Scar's prison break and then potentially go to the new Federation, or we're going to see the return of Jue Lin, the return of the Overthrax, and the death of a potential character, a potential beloved character like Jian, and the potential rise of 3 new playable characters: Frolova, Scar, Jue Lin. Though I think Frolova could be the 2.3 or 2.4 Resonator that we could be summonable upon the update of 2.3 and 2.4, before 3.0. And I think Scar or Jue Lin could be a mix-up between the 3.0 and 3.1 Resonators that are going to be summonable upon the release of those updates. Hopefully, this video has been a little bit... it's been interesting enough for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed my little rant, my little talk. It is also late, so if I stuttered, if I mumbled, if I went over my words a few times, forgive me. I am tired. I am tired. But I wanted to really get this made and get this off my chest, because it was fresh in my mind, and I thought, hey, let's talk about it, unedited, unsort of cut sort of thing. And let's see what you guys think, and see what you guys think upon the anniversary, because the anniversary, if you think about it, guys, isn't far away. It's 4.5 to 5 months away, and it's gone. You know, we're already in February. We're already in February. 2.1 is not far away at all. So yeah, let me know what you think down below in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe. I want to hit those I want to hit that 5k subs before the anniversary. Let's see if we can do it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.